Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we're doing the Lopez versus Claggett ESPN recap, as we are going to look at 3 fights on the ESPN card that took place on June 29th. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So Lopez and Claggett, we'll get to the main event in a little bit. Nico Ali Walsh got a win on the undercard. Got a decision victory. He stays, on his winning streak. Then in the co-main, former featherweight champ Lopez Ramirez returned with a bang. He was returning from his loss to Rafael Espinosa and the upset and fight of the year candidate that we had from last year. He returned from that loss and looked fucking fantastic. He was beating Brandon Benitez to the punch, breaking him down, busting him up, and then he landed a wicked fucking uppercut in the what round was that? I think it was the 7th round, actually, and that brutally knocked out or laid out Brandon Benitez, as Lopez Ramirez bounces back with a strong passion and has made a statement for his potential rematch with Rafael Espinosa for the WBO title. So we'll get more into that when we do Ramirez's What's Next video next week. But a great way to come back. It might earn him the WBO's top spot to make that fight with Espinosa a mandatory fight. We'll see what goes down from there, but a fantastic performance. Brandon Benitez, just outgunned. He's never been in there on the level of Lopez Ramirez, and he took a shot and he got dominated. And there's, nothing to hang his head about, because Ramirez is a legitimate fighter and former world champion. And Benitez just got to climb back on that horse and get back into it. So that's it there. The main event, Teofimo Lopez defending his 140-pound WBO title for the 2nd time this year, and 2nd time overall, battling Canadian Steve Claggett. Nobody was really giving Claggett a chance. He did get outgunned and outworked, but it was a tougher fight than Teofimo and most people were expecting. I think a lot of people thought, because Cleggett's a guy that comes straight at you and is there to be hit, that Teofimo was just going to wipe the floor with him and knock him out easily. And yeah, he might have stunned him a couple times, but it was nothing ever earth-shattering. And while Claggett kept coming forward, he was landing shots. Now, Teofimo was beating him to the punch. No doubt on the decision. Teofimo got a clean, convincing 12-round unanimous decision, but he took some good shots in that fight and couldn't put a guy with 7 losses and who hadn't really beaten anybody on a real world level, like a high level, to earn this fight. I think a lot of people were disappointed in Teofimo's performance. I, for one, am one of them, because with Teofimo, his talent level is exceptional, but I feel like he fights down to his opponents. When it's a big fight like Josh Taylor, he steps up. He fights up to his competition. Lomachenko that night, I felt like he fought up to his competition. Back when he beat, God damn it, Richard Comey, fought up to his competition. But when he's overlooking an opponent, he's coming in as a heavy underdog. He's not, when he's coming in a heavy favorite, it's almost like he has to be the underdog to step up his game. He has turned in some very workmanlike to bullshit performances, starting with Kambosos, and people can argue the weight there and all that stuff. Okay. Then he didn't look great against, Sandor Martin. He didn't look great against Jermaine Ortiz. He didn't look great against Steve Claggett. I think he's overlooking these guys and not taking them serious. And I think that's hurting his performances, because he's not that into fighting some of these lower level guys, even if they feed into his style. And it's disappointing, because Teofimo is truly a gifted fighter, but it's going to be tough for him moving forward. So we'll discuss more on what he does. Steve Claggett, this was probably the best outcome possible for him outside of knocking out Lopez. I think he's kind of put his name on the radar now to be kind of a stepping stone type guy. Maybe some of the other guys who are stronger in the division on their way up, maybe they'll want to fight Claggett to try to knock him out and get him out of there, because Teofimo couldn't. Maybe they use him as their bar to try to one-up a guy like Teofimo. So I think he did himself a service here, worked himself into some kind of mix at 140, and we'll see what happens for him moving forward. And again, Teofimo, we'll look at what is possibly coming up for him next week on his What's Next video. So that's it. That's what I got. That's my Lopez versus Claggett June 29th ESPN recap. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.